If I had to put what Big Brothers Big Sisters and the ice ball means to me, there's one word, and that's joy.
For me, it's inspiration. It's a good night for me to feel, inspired to keep moving and help spread the word.
It helps provide another mechanism to give guardrails in the community for our kids.
I think it really gives everybody a sense of hope that it is going to impact lives here in Central Texas.
I got involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters probably about 21 years ago. Ended up getting matched with a little girl who was 13 named Brittany. I was only about a year into my match when we lost one of our major funders, and so we started thinking, how can we make a difference? How can we bring some funding back? We decided we would have an event. The first year was called A Trip Around the World. We had a $0 budget. We were a bunch of friends in our 20s. None of us had ever been to a gala. So we really had no idea what we were doing. We were able to reach out to each of our networks really and ask them, hey, is there any way that you can donate this and can we get sponsored on this? We had the first year about 150 people. At the end of the night, we were having the best time. We were high-fiving and we're like, let's start planning next year. Second year was the Jubilee, and the third year was a night in Monte Carlo, and then the fourth year was the ice ball. Once we finally went with the ice ball, that was also the year where it really just kind of took off.
And I think I got involved in the 6th year when it was at the Austin Music Hall. Amy Stanley was amazing, and she had this whole crew that had been volunteering for years, so they had it all figured out. Just seeing how organized it was and how fun it was and how good it felt to give back, I decided to step up the next year when they needed a chair for it. We decided it needed to move on to a bigger venue because we kept selling out the smaller venues at the Austin Music Hall. That's when we went over to a hotel. That's when it turned into what I'd call like the formal gala at that point, and that was next level.
Our first experience at Ice Ball was probably before we got involved in the committee, probably 2009, 2010, one of the early one. And it was a much, much smaller event. And then fast forward, 3 or 4 years, really under Connie and Bill Nelson's leadership, the event had really grown and had become a much larger scale and just really fun and dynamic event.
Connie and Bill did wonders with ice ball.
We were approached to chair the 2014 ice ball, which would be the 10th anniversary, and I remember saying to the person who asked us, it's the 10th anniversary. I think we should go big or go home.
It actually became produced, is how I would explain it. Now we had lights. Never had that before. Now we had a sound system, a higher quality auctioneer.
There's so many cool things, excursions and packages all over the world, dining experiences, wine, sports, whether that's the Cowboys or the Astros and different donors that have been involved in those organizations that have been able to help secure really cool packages.
One year we auctioned off, I had 2 German friends in town. We had dinner with 2 German guys. Basically, that was the auction package. They made schnitzel and spätzle and all of the stuff, and they're only in town for 2 weeks, so you won the item, you had to use it immediately.
The very first year I chaired it, and we chaired it at the hotel, we had a horrible sound system. No one could hear. We had this PowerPoint that we showed of all the items that were coming up next for bid. So up flashes the PowerPoint, the Cabo trip, my now to be future husband. He was like, oh, I can't hear, so I'm gonna walk to the back of the room and bid on this for everybody. So while he's walking to the back of the room, without him knowing, they switched it back to diamond earrings. And he proceeds to bid on diamond earrings, and all of his friends are staring at him, going, what did you just do? And he bought diamond earrings, and here they are.
A special moment of Ice Ball for me personally, professionally, was at a previous employer, we got to step up and be the first ever diamond sponsor, and we actually committed to it for a 3-year period.
During that same time when Blake's company was a sponsor, Connie was the chair of the Ice Ball Committee, and she promised a cheesecake every month to anybody that could get that diamond sponsor.
So every month we went to Blake's office and we sat around with his staff and we had cheesecake. It was a blast. That's probably one of my most special memories.
It's so special to see where Ice Ball was, 15 years ago and where it is today.
When we first went, again, probably 2009, 2010, it's probably 300 people, and now to be, 800, 900, 1,000 people has really grown, and that's really, really exciting.
And every year it gets bigger and bigger because it becomes more and more popular and more well known to the community. People are hearing about it. People are talking about it.
I think the continued success is all of the new people that get involved over time. They're so dedicated and they're so engaged.
It's just nice to see there are more and more people connecting, coming, supporting.
It's heartwarming for me to see all the work that's put in to show people what we do, but the way it's done and the hard work that the staff does, it makes me feel great every year to see that.
The ice ball is a great party, but at the end of the day, it's all about the passion that people have behind helping kids get mentorship through Big Brothers Big Sisters.
We have over 200 kids on our waiting list that need mentors. I mean, we have to have funds for that. We also have to have mentors, right? So, the ice ball is a good way for us to spread the word and kind of bring mentors into the fold as well.
What we found very quickly with our relationship with Thomas is it so changed our lives, and our entire family got to know Thomas and his family, and it changed their lives.
I always think about the story of my little sister when she was sitting in the back of my car, and I think we'd played for like 3 hours. And on the way home, she said to me, I really don't want this to end. And so every time that I go to the ice ball, I think about that. And we just can't let it end. We got to make sure these kids have this organization.
It's exciting to think about the impact that someone who is sitting at a table at a gala has to the community around them. Because of the ice ball, we've been able to have more matches. We've been able to impact the community in Central Texas over the last 20 years.
I'd love to see it grow to the point where there's no kids on a waiting list.
Yes.
And every year I think, what have those kids missed? And what could we be doing if we could serve them?
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Serve the kids.